am here with my daughter. We are currently attending the fourth trial between the OMG Girls versus the OMG Dolls. So, if you guys are not aware, Ti and Tiny have been in litigation for several years based on these dolls that they feel as though the likeness was stolen from the OMG Girls. They were awarded 71 million in the last trial. And basically what happened to bring them to a fourth trial, if you guys did not catch my last live, was the jury awarded them $53 million in punitive damages. MGA, which is the company of the dolls, they argued that the punitive damages did not meet the like it's not like the award didn't meet the violation basically. So the judge agreed and said that Ti and Tiny can either take $1 in punitive damages or they can go to trial again for the fourth time for the punitive damages to be decided by a brand new jury. So that is why we are here. I don't like when my hair blows back. It looks crazy. But that's why we're here. Now, it's day 3 of testimony. Blanch Consorti, which is one of the doll makers, she was on the stand for an extensive amount of time. Today's testimony with Blanche, or your overall opinion of her about the dolls and the notes that you took, what is your opinion on the doll maker before we get to Tiny taking the stand?
I think her testimonies definitely don't match up. Um, in the past, her past testimony said that the Shimon doll and the Gaga doll had was a coincidence of the singularities, and she said that they weren't the um they weren't the
They weren't
inspiration.
copies
They
off of the
Yeah,
actual Michael Jackson
but
and Lady Gaga.
yeah, but now that she has a different lawyer and she changed her testimony and she said that she corrected her testimony and she blamed it on the 9 hours of testifying. But I feel like if you're testifying for 9 hours, you would just want to say the truth to get it over with and not lying. I feel like no matter how long you've been testifying, the truth is still the truth, and I feel like that she should be held to that. I feel like, and
Okay.
she obviously contradicts herself, and as I've said this before, her testimony is like inconsistent with the past one, and her team, the MJ lawyer team, is just really annoying in my opinion because they're just not they're good lawyers. They're just she's proven them guilty already. Like the emails, um, the unassigned celebrity emails, and
What did you take that to mean when they said that they were gonna unofficially assign the dolls? Like what did you take that to mean?
we're gonna copy celebrities, but we're just not gonna say it's that celebrity so we can get sued. That's what I got from that.
Wow. I did not tell her to say that, y'all. I swear to you. But yeah, so they basically had an email where they said they were gonna unofficially assign dolls to their like inspo or whatever like that. And they were saying that that wasn't them copying celebrities, etc. And that they only got inspiration, etc. Now, like I said, Blanche was on the stand for an extensive amount of time. She was the main lead doll designer at OMG Dolls. And she was basically just all over the place in her testimony. Now, my daughter's 13. She just turned 13 last month. She was 12 before that, obviously. But yeah, she's fresh 13. She just got out of the 7th grade. She's on summer break. She'll be going to the 8th grade. She got the honor roll, all A's and B's. And what? Why you look at me like that?
I don't know.
What was your grades?
Um, no.
What was your grades?
Um, I don't remember, but it definitely was not on a roll.
What was it?
Not honor roll.
Like, why are you being funny about that? And it's the truth.
Because it's not.
What's your grade? Okay, then what's your grades? Now I'm being serious. What's your grades?
Let me see. Okay.
She's being so extra for no reason. Just tell him your grade. You know what your grades
No,
were.
I don't. I didn't pay attention to my grades. A B, A, B, B, A, and an A.
If you got A's and B's, no C's, no D's. Tell me your grades again. What was your grades?
It was a B,
That B in language arts,
A,
A in accelerated math,
a B
a B in science, a B.
in elective, A, and A. Same thing. Same thing.
Anyways. Kids, girl, kids, child. Anyways, she got A's and B's. To me, that's the honor roll. To me, whatever. Anyways, so that was a testimony with Blanch Consorti. Like I said, she has been on for a numerous of days, and they needed her testimony to lower these damages, not get this going in T.I. and Tiny's favor. They needed her because she was the lead. She was the one over the dolls. She was the one that made like impact in like some decision makings, as far as like she said, like even down to the shoe size of the doll was after her. Like she wears a size 6.5. The dolls are modeled after her. They're her baby. She created this mini doll world where everything was triangles and, you know, doll like kid like shapes, and she created all of these things. So they needed her to basically get into testimony that she didn't copy them. She wasn't the one that was their inspiration. She didn't know anything about them, etc. However, she's the lead designer, but she's not the only designer. So they have Black designers, they have other designers that did get inspiration and did copy Beyonce. They have videos that, or they have dolls that look like. Now, I'm not saying that they copied them, because according to them, by legal definition, they didn't copy them. But in my interpretation, they look like Lady Gaga. The dolls look like Beyonce. They look like Audrey Hepburn. They look like Michael Jackson. They look like the OMG Girlz. You know what I mean? So they have all of these dolls that look like different celebrities. And they're saying that
Designers.
they're saying that that's not the case. So they needed her testimony to prove that fact, that that's not the case, that they didn't sue, blah blah blah. They didn't copy, etc., etc. But there was a lot of, like my daughter said, contradictions. There was a lot of things that was um like not matching up, and made her kind of look like she wasn't credible, because they got a new lawyer team. So they tried to shape the testimony a different way. Like whatever didn't work for them last time, they tried to basically shape it a different way. And them shaping it a different way made it be like a contradiction, etc. Now that leads us up to Tiny taking a stand. Now Tiny took the stand, and they were able to show that she was the creator of the group. And a lot of the testimony was that Tiny and the OMG Girlz, well, more specifically, the OMG Girlz were not relevant. They're not pop, like they did not have no reach. They weren't really anything to emulate or copy. They're not some group that they would know about, because the group wasn't big. They were kind of like this irrelevant group. And so when Tiny got on the stand, she basically wanted to show that, or they wanted to show that she had a show called T.I. and Tiny Family Hustle, where it had millions of viewers. They went on tour. They had kids that would come to um the shows, and they would dress like them, etc. So Tiny was getting those things out. And what was a massive win for T.I. and Tiny was, for the first time in 3 trials, they never put in the evidence that the OMG doll creators, there was this black woman called Amina Lucci, and she's on Instagram and Twitter, and it's called Studio. What is it? Studio Mucci or Studio?
No clue.
It should be in your notes. Studio.
It was Amina Mucci.
Okay. So, anyways, it was a black woman. She wore colorful braids. She was plus size woman, but she always wore like all of these like rainbow inspired colors, etc. She called out MGA because she felt like they took her likeness and put it into a doll. And when they took her likeness and put it into a doll, here comes Tiny. Let me get her real quick. All right, so here's Tiny, you guys. Hey,
Hey.
have a good day. Looking beautiful and amazing as always.
Thank you for being here.
I appreciate you too. All right, so I'm about to see them inside. She's about to go back to testify, so I don't want to hold her too much. I couldn't even think of what to say real quick because we can't talk about the case or anything. So I mean to Tiny,
Why?
but because they're testifying, and just like once you start and you're in trial, like you can't like talk about the case outside of trial. Like she can't. I can, but she can't. Um, so what was that? What was I saying?
Amina.
Amina. So this is the first time that they entered into evidence that Amina called out MGA. And when she called them out, she had made a statement on Twitter, and she said, hey, if my Instagram pages or if my social media disappears, this is why. Because, she was like, I'm not going to be silenced by MGA, because she was alleging that they took her likeness and they made a doll after her. And she was like, I'm not going to be silenced. I'm not backing down, but just letting you know, if my social media like disappears, they're the reason. And the owner of MGA replied to her, and he called her a fraud, an extortionist, a liar. And the doll looked exactly like her brand. He said that you're a fraud, you're an extortionist, you're a liar. And then when she said that, like, oh, that this is the doll creator that I was just talking to you guys about. Anyways, so what was I saying? Oh, so so when Amina has said that, oh, my socials, if it disappears, why, or whatever,
He said
he
they will
replied back
disappear
and
because
said,
you're a fraud. Hashtag extortionist. Give me your lawyers. And his contact information.
yes. So he told her, like when she said her pages might disappear because of them, he said they will. And by the way, like, give me your lawyer information, blah, blah, blah. And they sued her, like just straight out sued her. And then they asked Tiny, like, okay, like they tried to make it seem like her lawsuit just went away because, you know, like and I'm just paraphrasing. Obviously, I don't have a transcript in front of me, and I'm just going off the top of my head. They said something along the lines of like, oh, well, they try to make it seem like her lawsuit just went away. Does she have the resources like you guys have to be able to fight them? Does she have, are you aware that she had a GoFundMe account to try to, raise money for a lawyer? And then they wanted to know, like, aren't you worth millions of dollars? Like, you're able to basically trying to insinuate like you can afford to sue, but they said let you hold it down. So go ahead. So tell that in your words.
They asked if she had any contact with Amina, and she said yes. And then the lawyers representing MGA, as Ti and Tiny's lawyer that was representing them was speaking, they kept on objecting, saying it was objecting for relevance. And then they asked Tiny if she felt that she was targeted, after the MGA company sued her, and she said yes, she does feel targeted, and she brought up the queens OMG dolls and how they look just like the OMG girls when they attended the BET awards, and then they brought up the packaging and how they were lined up the same exact way, how the girl with the purple hair in the middle because she was shorter. And then they were talking about that. And then also, let me see.
It's mama's baby, y'all.
She was talking about the upbringing of the OMG girls, and she was talking about how they started when they were 9 and 11, and she talked about how she was married to Ti, how she was in the escape group, and how the group broke apart. And she talked about her father, whom she grew up with, that he was in the music industry. And she talked about being a co-writer on No Scrubs, and she talked about how her daughter was in OMG Girls. And then she said that she tried to make them have a distinctive image with the purple, pink, and yeah, blue hair. Um and they were just talking about the Ti and Tiny household show that had like a roughly 2 million views, like
Each week.
yeah. And they talked about the releases and how they were sold out and how good they were doing and the tutors. Um
They had to get a tutor so that they can't
do-
go on the road.
yeah, and do their work whilst like touring and stuff. And then we saw a video that was like exhibit, it was evidence um of them being on tour and just like getting ready. And they were asking the judge for permission a lot to be able to say that. And the lawyers representing MGA, they objected like a lot because they didn't want them to speak about the OMG girls. But the Ti and Tiny's lawyers, they can't they I feel like they had a better approach with the way that they objected because it wasn't repetitive, but it was like the reasons that they had made sense and defending themselves when they were objected. They had really good reasoning behind the evidence that they showed and the questions that they asked. And I feel like, in my opinion, they're going to win the trial because they just have a better approach. And obviously, Ti Tiny's testimony seems consistent and what she's been saying. And the MGA side, they're just like, they're just getting sidetracked with their unboxing and talking about shoe sizes. It's just like they're just very off topic. And then when they talk about literally anything, when Ti and Tiny's lawyers talk about anything, they're like, "Oh, relevance," and it's like, "But you were just having her unbox for the jury and pass around a doll." So it's like they just like there's not.
How long were they unboxing for? And the reason why you bring that up?
They're unboxing for about 40 minutes, roughly. Yeah.
You talking about between the two, like
Yeah.
one for like 20 minutes and then another.
Yeah. She was unboxing, and then we went to lunch, and then after we went to lunch, they came back, and she was just talking about the dolls and the surprises, but, like, it wasn't even the dolls that they were talking about. They talked about the chillax doll,
Hmm.
and they briefly, and then they started talking about the LOL tots and just, like, getting really off topic, and it was just, like, no relevance to the fact that this trial is for punitive damages and not talking about defending her and her character. And the lawyer representing Ti and Tiny talked about how she left MGA and how she shouldn't be able to just get on the stand and talk about her good character because that's not the relevance of the case. The relevance of the case is the punitive damages. And he said that to the judge, and the judge just was like overruled. And he's just like, the judge isn't very like he just dismisses a lot, and he's like, "Stand." It's like, "Will be received," but it's like he picks and chooses, and it's obvious.
All right. So we gotta head back on in there, you guys. If you guys want to donate to her, just put in my Cash App for Leah. Her name is Leah. And my Cash App is Nique at Nite Media. So it's spelled exactly like my channel, NIQUE AT NITE Media, MEDIA. But it's $ Nique at Nite Media. And if you want to donate to my daughter, you can put in the subject Leah. If you want to donate to me, you know, you can donate to me.
Donate to me.
But if it's specific to her, you want to ask him any questions? He's a lawyer. No? Okay. All right, y'all. We'll see y'all later. We got to go in.